Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to work on Bird of Paradise. I love this posture. It is such a great pose. It is a pose where you find full expression to me because, you know, you're opening your chest, there's a bind, there's the essence of extending your legs, so there's a hip opener. And when I do this posture, I just feel complete freedom, that openness, and yet at the same time, that lift and that grounding from my standing leg. So today I'm joined by the lovely Maiva, and she's going to be our model today. She's going to take her feet hips distance apart, which she already has, and then she's going to put a bend in her knees and hinge fold from the crease of her hips. As she hinges and folds, she's going to lower her hands down towards the mat. And as she does that, she's just going to relax the crown of the head down for a moment. Yeah. She wants to think about when we do eventually stand up, whichever your standing leg is, it's in Tadasana. Yeah, so outer ankle in, all four corners of the feet pressing down, and the root of the right thigh bone lifting up. The pelvis is being very contained without tucking. All right, so from here, Maiva's going to turn those right toes in just a little bit more. Yes. She's going to slide her left arm in between her thighs. And as she takes the left arm through, good. She's going to take her right arm up and over, and both arms are internally rotating. As she takes the bind, for some people, they're able to grab the wrist. So if you do grab a wrist, you want to make sure that in this case, because it's her left leg, you're going to grab the right wrist. So that's whichever arm is going up and overhead. Now, what's important is that this hip starts to pin in. What tends to happen is we start to sit. So we want to lengthen the right side of the waist and pull this right hip in. Before she goes anywhere, she's just going to ground down through the right foot, come onto the ball of the left foot and start to turn the left toes out. So there's that external rotation happening in the hip socket. Now she's going to squeeze, make this bind a little bit more snug before you go up. Yeah. She's going to start to squeeze her outer thigh all the way on the upper arm and begin to rise into the standing of this posture. As she stands, the right hip pins into the midline. That's the work. Then the right shoulder head slightly rolls back so the chest is open. And then once we're up, we want to start to really firm in, hugging the outer thigh on the upper arm. If you're someone with tight hammies, you could stay right here and explore this posture. If you do want to move on, you start to elongate and extend through your left leg, driving the inseam of your left leg forward into the inner arch, into the mound of the foot. And it might not go all the way up by your ear. The expression is individual, so find where you are. But the chest stays open so the shoulder blades are in. The left glute is slightly dropped so both sides of the sacrum are ideally level. And the right hip stays pinning into the midline. Then to come out, there's that lift of the belly. She starts to bend her left knee. She draws everything to center. And she starts to bend the right knee. She hinges, she folds. And as she folds, she plugs the mound of the right big toe down. She lowers the left foot, parallels the feet as she releases the bind, and she'll take a forward fold. And then obviously when we're working like this, you want to make sure you do the other side, so she'll go into the other side. I'm going to demo the other, so Maiva's going to come sit for a moment. So, you know, what you saw with Maiva was really nicely that she bent the knee and she held it on the upper arm. What tends to happen is it can slide. You want to think, how can I hold it on the upper arm by engaging these adductor muscles? So when you forward fold, guys, and you start to find that hinging, you really want to think, okay, as that arm wraps under, you take your bind. If you can grab a wrist, roll the chest open and pin the mound of the standing foot down. The outer arch is pinning in, the inner arch is rising. Then from here, as the left leg stays in Tadasana for me, my right toes turn out, but my left hip plugs in. Then I start to, from my navel, feel an energy line drawing forward all the way up into my sternum. I'm drawing that outer right hip in, and I start to offer my heart. And I could stay right here if my hammies are really tight, or I can start to elongate and lengthen into my right toes. So the right leg becomes an extension leg. So it's up to you. So give it a go. See how it feels in your body. But think, how can I draw everything in towards my plumb line, and from the plumb line extend through my chest, but feel that support from my core, and then blossom into the posture, into many different variations. All right, hope that was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. See you down the yoga road.